There are things you may be saying to God right now, not because your heart is hard, but because no one ever sat you down and told you what they really mean. You did not learn them from rebellion. You learned them from pain, from habit, from 100 ordinary moments when the words just slipped out, and one of them may be quietly closing the very door God was getting ready to open for you. We are going to look at 7 of them today, but the 7th, the last one, is the one almost every believer has whispered at some point without ever realizing what they were saying. So stay with me, because we will get there. Jesus once said something simple and terrifying. Out of the overflow of the heart, the mouth speaks. Here is what I want to give you by the end of this. I want you to recognize which of these has been slipping out of your own mouth. I want you to understand why it shuts a door instead of opening one. And most of all, I want you to walk away knowing exactly what to say instead. Because here is the truth that ties all 7 together, and I need you to hold on to it. It was never really about the words. Every one of these phrases is a quiet confession of something you secretly believe about God's heart. And God does not answer your words. He answers what you believe. So when you change what you say to Him, what you are really changing is what you trust about Him. Keep that in mind as we count down. Let me start with the one you are least likely to feel guilty about. When was the last time you told God, later? Maybe not in those exact words. Maybe it sounded like, I'll pray about it tonight. Or, things are crazy right now. I'll get back to Him when it all settles down. We say it the way we swipe away a notification on a phone. Not now, later. But listen. The book of James warns about the person who says, tomorrow I will do this and that, when he does not even know if he has a tomorrow. Your life, James says, is a mist. Here for a moment, then gone. Later is a bet you keep placing on a breath you were never promised. So here is the fix, and it costs you nothing. Instead of telling God later, give Him one honest sentence right now. God, I have 1 minute, and it is yours. He would rather have your 60 seconds today than your someday that never comes. And that one is gentle compared to the next because the next phrase wears a much braver face. Number 6 sounds like strength. It sounds like the thing a strong, capable person is supposed to say. I can handle this on my own, and the world will applaud you for it. But I want you to hear what it actually does. Jesus said it plainly. Apart from me, you can do nothing. Not, you can do a little less. Nothing. He used the picture of a branch and a vine. A branch that decides it can handle things on its own does not become free. It becomes firewood. Cut from the vine, it just slowly dies, and for a while, it does not even notice. Listen to me carefully. I can handle this on my own may be the loneliest prayer a believer ever prays, because it is the exact moment you quietly fire the only one who was never going to quit on you. The fix is not to stop working. The fix is to stop pretending you are the source. Instead of, I've got this, try praying, God, I will do the work in front of me, but you carry what I cannot even see. That is not weakness. That is knowing whose hand is underneath yours. And it gets sharper the moment life stops making sense, which is exactly where number 5 lives. There was a man in the Gospels who had been blind since the day he was born. He never saw his mother's face, never saw the sky. And when Jesus and his followers walked past him, the first thing the followers did was reach for a calculator. Whose fault is this, they asked. Did this man sin, or was it his parents? Somebody had to be to blame. Somebody had to deserve it. And Jesus refused to do the math. Neither this man nor his parents, he said. This happened so that the works of God could be shown through him. Now, hear how that lands on the phrase, so many of us pray in the dark. What did I do to deserve this? It feels like a question. It is really an accusation, dressed up with a question mark. You are telling God this pain is a punishment, and you are demanding to know the charge. But what if it was never a sentence handed down? What if it is a stage being set? The fix is to change the question entirely. Instead of, what did I do to deserve this? Ask, God, what do you want to do through this? One question keeps you a victim forever. The other one turns you into a witness. Hold that thought because the next phrase takes the very same wound and sharpens it into an accusation. Number 4 is the prayer that sounds like heartbreak but works like a courtroom. If you really loved me, you would have stopped this. If you really loved me, she would still be here. If you really cared, this never would have happened. On the surface, it is just grief. Underneath, you have put God in the witness chair, and you are demanding He prove His love on your terms, by your timeline. I want to show you 2 women who prayed almost those exact words. When their brother Lazarus died, both Martha and Mary came to Jesus and said the same thing. Lord, if you had been here, my brother would not have died, if you had loved us enough to come sooner. And here is what they did not know. Jesus had stayed away on purpose. He had waited. Not because he did not love them, the scriptures say plainly that he did, but because his delay was not his absence. He was setting up something a quick rescue could never have given them. He walked to the tomb of a man 4 days dead, and he called him out by name. So the fix is to stop reading the silence as a verdict. Instead of, if you loved me, you would have, try praying, I do not understand the delay, but I trust the love behind it. And before we go any deeper, let me ask you something. If even one of these has slipped out of your mouth, even one, type 2 words in the comments below. Forgive me, that is all. I read every single one of them, and I pray over them. Now stay with me, because the next 3 go deeper. And number 3 is one you might be praying right now, without even hearing yourself. Let me ask you straight. Is there a name you have already decided you will never forgive? You might not say it out loud, but in the quiet, when you pray, the door stays shut on that one person. I will never forgive them. And it feels like strength. It feels like justice. It feels like the one thing you still get to control. But Jesus tied something to those words that should stop us cold. If you forgive others, he said, your Father will forgive you. But if you refuse to forgive others, your Father will not forgive you either. Read that again. The same hand you are using to hold them in prison is the hand that locks your own cell. Here is what most people never realize. Never is a very long time to keep drinking poison, hoping the other person is the one who dies. So the fix is not to fake it. God is not asking you to pretend the wound never happened. He is asking for the door to crack open, just an inch. Instead of, I will never forgive, pray, God, I am not ready to forgive. Make me willing to be willing. He can work with that. He can do nothing with a door that is locked from the inside. But the one right after this is the sneakiest on the entire list because it sounds like the holiest thing you could possibly say. Remember the man born blind from number 5? The crowd around him had already closed the book on his life. They decided his story was over before Jesus ever said a word. Now here is number 2, and it is what happens when you become the crowd, and the person you write off is yourself. I'm not worthy enough to ask. It sounds humble. It sounds reverent. It is neither. Do not miss this one. When you tell God you are too unworthy to come to him, you think you are bowing low. You are actually trusting your own unworthiness more than you are trusting his blood. The book of Hebrews does not say, creep quietly toward the throne if you think you have earned it. It says, come boldly to the throne of grace. And Romans reminds us that while we were still sinners, not cleaned up, not worthy, still in the middle of the mess, Christ died for us. So calling yourself too unworthy to ask is not humility. It is telling God the cross was not quite enough. The fix flips it completely. Instead of, I'm not worthy to ask, pray, I am not worthy, and I am coming anyway, because Jesus made me welcome. Worthiness was his job. Showing up is yours. Which brings us, finally, to the one I promised you at the very start. Here it is, the one I promised you at the beginning, the one almost no one ever admits out loud. It's too late for me. I'm too far gone. I've done too much, waited too long, wandered too far away. There is no coming back for someone like me. And I need you to see why this is the most dangerous thing on the whole list. Every other phrase doubts God's heart. This one doubts his power. This one looks straight at the cross and decides it is too small to reach you. So let me take you to the worst possible place to go looking for hope. A hill outside Jerusalem. 3 men dying on crosses. One of them is a criminal, and he knows it. He has nails through his hands. He has minutes left to live, no time to fix his life, no good deeds left to offer, no church to join, no years left to make anything right. He is, by every measure you can name, too far gone. And in those final minutes, he turns his head toward Jesus and says, remember me. That is all. Just remember me. And Jesus answers him, today. Today you will be with me in paradise. The least time anyone has ever had. The most wasted life on that hill. And he made it home. There is a reason that, in another picture Jesus painted, the father sees his ruined son while the boy is still a long way off and runs. God is not standing at the finish line with his arms crossed, waiting to see if you make it. He is already running toward you. So, the fix for the heaviest phrase of all is the simplest one on the list. Instead of, it's too late for me, pray, God, if a dying thief on a cross was not too far gone, then neither am I. because the only person it is ever truly too late for is the one who never asks. So there they are, all 7. You might think we are done, but I told you the truth from the very start, so I will tell you this too. There is one thing more dangerous than all 7 of these combined, and it is not a wrong word at all. It is the day you stop talking to him entirely. Because every phrase we covered, as broken as it is still a prayer. It is still you, turned toward God, still in the room with him. Silence is the only prayer he cannot answer, because it was never spoken. And even then, even in the silence, the book of Revelation says he is still standing at the door, still knocking. He never stopped. So let me say the thing you may need to hear most. None of these make God love you less. Not one. He knows your heart. He knows you spoke from pain, not from rebellion. He heard the fear underneath the words long before you ever said them out loud. You are not in trouble. You just know better now, and now you can do better. Remember where we started. Out of the heart, the mouth speaks. So do not only fix the words, ask him for a new heart, and the right words will follow on their own. Here is the truth. God was never waiting on perfect words from you. Here is what that means for you. The door you thought you slammed shut, he is still standing right at it. And here is the part I need you to feel tonight. You were never too far gone. You only ever had to turn around. So tell me, which of these 7 have you said to God? Drop the number in the comments. I will be praying over this comment section tonight. And if this helped you breathe even a little easier, subscribe and send it to one person who needs to hear that it is not too late for them either, because somebody out there needs that today.